The reason you click this video is because you wanted a full guide on the stock market for beginners in 2022, and that's exactly what you're gonna get. Now, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna break this down into different parts, and it's gonna be separated by timestamps, which you can see down in the description below. And so if you want to, you can skip around, but I highly recommend watching all of it because this is basically going to be a mini course. And whether you are an advanced investor that just wants to brush up on the basics, or you are a complete beginner that has never invested before, you are going to get a lot out of this course. But if for whatever reason you're really busy, there's always those timestamps down below and you can jump around. And not only am I going to teach you the basics of investing, but I'm also going to sprinkle in some wisdom and some knowledge. And I'm going to talk about things that I think are the most important concepts for you to know as an investor. And by the end of this video, I'm hoping that I can surgically take my brain out and physically put it inside of your head. That's impossible. I can't really do that. Sorry.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
But a plus side is you will know more than any of your friends about the stock market. Now, the first part of this video is going to be more informational, but later on in the video, I am going to do a step-by-step tutorial where I spend $10,000 of my own money on stocks. And on top of that, I have 3 different gifts throughout this video, and these are gifts that took me a very long time to make. These are going to be incredibly useful to you. So 2 of them are going to be kind of towards the middle of the video, and then the last one is going to be at the end. All right, so welcome everyone. This is going to be the Stock Market for Beginners course. My name is Shane Humison. I go by Shane Hummus online. That's kind of like my brand thing, just because nobody can pronounce my last name correctly, so I got tired of that. And so I just call myself Hummus because everyone recognizes that, and I secretly just want to make everyone hungry. So why should you be interested in the stock market in the first place? Why should you care about investing? And to answer this, I actually have a quick question for you. If you invested $1 at the beginning of your career, after 40 years of working, let's just assume you work 40 years and then you get to retire, and assuming that that $1 grows at about 10% return per year, how much would you have at the end of 40 years? Now, don't go online to look up a calculator or anything like that. I want you to just try to think in your head how much it would be. Do you think it would double? Would it turn into $2? Do you think it would maybe triple? $3, quadruple? Maybe you think it would go up 10 times. Well, the answer is actually $45.26. So it would actually go up 45.2x. And this is assuming that you get 10% average returns per year, which we have consistently, basically almost for the last 100 years. And this is also assuming it's 7 to 8% adjusted for inflation, because we usually have about 2 to 3% in inflation. Now, you're probably pretty shocked that it went up 45.2 times. And the reason for this is because a phenomenon known as compound interest. And Einstein said that compound interest was the 8th wonder of the world. Here's a quote on the top right. It says, "Compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it." And it's because of this compound interest that the earlier you start investing, the better, even if you don't have very much money to invest, because the power of compound interest can turn what is, not that much money into enough that you could potentially retire. So this is why, in my opinion, investing is so incredibly important, because sometimes it's not all that much about how much you make, it's how much you can save and then invest. So now we know why you should invest. You understand the magical power of compound interest, but why should you listen to me for investing advice? Well, I'm glad you asked, and let me introduce myself. So like I said before, my name is Shane Humison. I go by Shane Hummus on YouTube. This is a picture of me in the top right that was taken in Seattle. I live in the Pacific Northwest in Washington, just north of Seattle. I'm a pharmacist, and that means that I got a doctorate of pharmacy. And I've made a lot of videos on giving different college advice because, let's be honest, college is incredibly expensive these days, and you have to make sure that you're getting a degree that's actually worth it and you're not getting scammed by universities. And people listen to me because I've been through the whole college system from the bottom all the way to the top, getting a doctorate. And so I kind of have a very good understanding of how it works. I've also been a YouTuber since 2008. That's right. I uploaded my first YouTube video all the way back in 2008, and it was a video of me doing what's known as PKing on RuneScape, which is basically this video game that was kind of set in the Middle Ages, I guess, but there's dragons and there's magic and wizards and all kinds of stuff like that. And at the time I didn't even have a computer, so I would go to the local library, I would download a screen capture application, I would record my screen at the local library and then post that on YouTube. So I actually started YouTube without even having a phone or a computer. And since then I tried starting several different types of channels. One of them was about pharmacy, for instance. I started another one about productivity, but this channel, Shane Hummus, was the one that really took off. I'm also a lifelong learner and I have a huge passion for teaching. So over the years of uploading YouTube videos, I figured out how to have a really good balance of being a good teacher, but also being entertaining. And I figured out a way to ELI 5, explain like I'm 5, break things down into a way that anybody can understand them. Now, I'm a big time personal finance nerd. I'm constantly studying it, reading news about it, watching videos on it, listening to podcasts about it. I would also consider myself a balanced investor. So I'm not one of those people who's just like, oh my God, you have to YOLO your entire life savings into this one meme coin right now. And I'm also not one of those people that's like, the only thing you can invest in is gold. Gold is the only thing that has value. Everything else is worthless and it's eventually going to go to zero. You only can invest in gold and maybe silver. And these two types of investors are almost like memes at this point. And I consider myself to be a balanced investor. I kind of embrace both sides, and I like to find the investments that have the highest upside with the least amount of risk. And also, I consider myself to be a normal guy. So I came from a poor background. I was actually homeless at one point when I was younger, and I was in a situation where not only were other people not taking care of me, but I had to take care of other people. So when I started investing, I had to do it with my hard-earned cash that I made. I'm not one of those channels who makes money by talking about investing and then make more money by reinvesting the money that I made talking about the investing with like an infinite monetization loop. I started investing with money I made from the real world. I'm a normal guy. I've got a normal job. And I think most importantly, my experience, the fact I've been investing for a while, the fact that I have done this on my own, it started with my hard-earned cash, and the fact that I have a portfolio in the multiple six figures that I built up on my own. And most importantly, the fact that over the past year, I'm up over 100% on my investments. All of this is something that I wish that I knew when I was younger. So that's what I'm kind of going to be going over in this video. I'm going to be talking about things that I wish I knew when I was younger, because maybe I would be doing even better now. But with that being said, I do have to say that this is not financial advice and it is for educational and entertainment purposes only. So always do your own research when it comes to investing. Now let's go ahead and go over what you're going to learn from this video. So we're going to start off, with the basics. What is a stock? We're going to talk about the stock market basics as well, some of the most important fundamental things you should understand. We're going to go over the different types of stocks, the different types of investing strategies. What is a financial ratio and why it's so important? Then we are going to go over buying your first stock, and I'm going to do this with a live demonstration where I buy $10,000 worth of stock. Then I'm going to talk about strategies for being a successful investor. We're going to go over short-term capital gains tax as well as long-term capital gains tax. Then the conclusion, and then throughout the video, I'm going to give you a free gift. And there are actually going to be several free gifts throughout the video. You don't need to enter your email in. It's nothing like that. It's legitimately just a free gift from me to you. And these are going to be resources that, again, I wish I had when I first started investing, and they are going to help you out tremendously. So what exactly is a stock?